just a few hours, Lori Lightfoot will reveal what she's learned about the financial troubles in South Suburban Dalton.
Dalton trustees hired the former Chicago mayor to investigate their own mayor's office.
When you see that the trustees are talking about layoffs, it gives you a clue that the financial situation is dire. I believe that it's really important for us to bring forward to the members of the public, the residents of Dalton, what we have found so far, because there's a lot of tough decisions that are going to have to be made. That has to be made in context and with full transparency.
Hold up. Not Tiffany Henyard trying to fly out the country after new hardcore evidence was found against her and her several board of trustees.
May of 2024, which is a negative $3.65 million.
Over the last 3 fiscal years, the average monthly expenditures of the village have increased by nearly 30%. As you can see in the graphic, in fiscal year 2022, on average, the village spent about $1.9 million a month. But in the last fiscal year, that amount had climbed to $2.5 million.
So it looks like the arrest that we've all been anticipating is finally about to happen any moment now because of the people who were protecting Tiffany from going to jail just threw her under the bus after Lori Lightfoot presented them with never-before-seen hardcore evidence. Tiffany was able to shamelessly contest the previous evidence, but she's currently panicking at this new evidence because she knows this is going to be the end of her. Things got so bad that some of the board of trustees are demanding for her arrest to be made immediately because they're afraid Tiffany might fly out the country any moment now.
The trustees argue the mayor has not paid vendors and won't provide budget items explaining any spending. Tonight, Lightfoot will reveal what she's been able to uncover despite Henyard's unwillingness to cooperate. We did catch up with Lightfoot this week.
For those of y'all wondering who Lori Lightfoot is, she's the former mayor of Chicago, and she was chosen by the board of trustees of Dalton to step in as a special investigator in this case after they tried to investigate Tiffany's corruption on their own and failed to pull any vital evidence. Some people were actually skeptical about bringing Lori on board with this investigation because they thought she was too corrupt and was just gonna try to protect Tiffany. Some of the people of Dalton believe that Lori was in on the whole thing and that there's more evidence against Tiffany that's enough to throw her in jail, but she didn't release it because they were trying to buy Tiffany more time to get away with these crimes. In fact, during a recent town hall meeting that happened just a few weeks ago, Tiffany and her entourage caused a scene after they tried to stop Lori from getting the mic and giving people an update on her investigation. The whole thing seemed like a whole planned act, and people immediately started going in on the board of trustees for even hiring Lori to take charge of the investigation in the first place, because they believe she just as corrupt as Tiffany.
Thank you. What I will say is that it's an honor to be working on behalf of the residents of Dalton. We have not arrested one of you.
You was once a mayor too. You should not even be disrespectful like that. That's sad. Clear the room! Clear the room! Clear the room, guys! This means adjourn. Everybody out.
One person said, corrupt mayor being investigated by a more corrupt mayor. This is a completely laughable situation. Hiring Lori Lightfoot to investigate Tiffany Henyard is like hiring a fox to guard the henhouse. Dumb idea. Another person said, one corrupt mayor versus another corrupt mayor. I keep telling my kids, life is so much more entertaining than video games. All the corruption allegations on Lori put a battery pack in her to dig up all the dirt on Tiffany she could, and she did not hold back from exposing as much evidence as she possibly could find against Tiffany. She found out at the time that Tiffany came into office, Dalton's general fund balance was $5.61 million, but by May of 2024, the balance had dropped to a deficit of $3.65 million. As if that wasn't bad enough, Lori also exposed, quote, detailed credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars, which had been traced back to the expensive online shopping sprees that Tiffany had been having whenever she was boarding her house. And in case y'all were wondering what exactly Tiffany was using these credit cards to buy, well, you better buckle up, because y'all will not believe the things y'all about to hear. It turns out she was using these credit cards to make purchases at Amazon, Target, Walgreens, Wayfair, and other retailers. Notably, one purchase made on Amazon amounted to $33,000 on January 5th of 2023. That same exact day, 2 more purchases were made on that site. One of them was for for $4,715 and another was for $5,000. She also spent over $7,000 at Wayfair and $2,200 at Best Buy, as well as a total of $102,000 on vacation trips to other countries in just the past year alone. But if y'all thought that was bad, wait till you hear the rest of it, because it really just gets worse than this. Lori Lightfoot's investigation also found that as of June 18th of 2024, at least 589 checks amounting to over $6 million were approved and printed, but never sent to vendors. And mind y'all, these vendors use checks to feed their families. But of course, Tiffany didn't care, because she only thinks about herself and would rather use all that money to fund her lavish lifestyle.
Per records from the John Kasparic firm, as of June 18, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors. And that is.
But it wasn't just vacation trips and huge billboards with her face on it that Tiffany was using Dalton's money for. Lori also revealed that Tiffany was out here bribing police officers and getting them to do special favors for her. It's unclear what these special favors were, but it's safe to assume that it's nothing good, because she was paying them thousands of dollars in overtime. And for some reason, it all went under the radar until Lori stepped into the investigation. Lori also found out that 2 police officers had received overtime pay exceeding their annual salaries. One officer's salary for fiscal year 2024 was $87,000, and yet the officer received $114,000 in overtime pay. Officer 2 had a salary of $73,000 and received $102,000 in overtime pay for the fiscal year 2024.
Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base compensation. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747,000 just in overtime.
Now, I know y'all heard how loudly everybody gasped in that room. Tiffany was paying them 2 officers more for overtime than their actual salaries, and nobody bat one eye. Something fishy is really going on here, y'all. Once the FBI caught on to this and Lori submitted the evidence that she had, 2 subpoenas were issued for the feds to go through all of Tiffany's properties and dig out even more evidence on her corrupt self. In the first subpoena, they were reportedly seeking personnel files, wage and tax documents, time and attendance records, contracts, and checks written to cash from Henyard's multiple endeavors: a restaurant she owns, a property management company she runs, her political action company, and a charity in her name. In the second subpoena, they're seeking financial documents of the township, like budgets, payroll records, and ordinances covering credit card purchases, expense reports and reimbursements, security details, and use of vehicles. And baby, they found a whole lot of incriminating evidence. On top of all this, Tiffany's access to Dalton's accounts have been limited till the investigation is over so that she won't be able to embezzle any more money than she already has. According to reports, the Board of Trustees approved a freeze on credit card spending amid the ongoing federal investigation. But it doesn't end there, because word on the street is, while all these town hall meetings have been being had and these decisions were being made, Lori Lightfoot has still been heavily investigating this case. And she's even gone as far as to looking into some of the people who may have helped Tiffany carry out her corrupt behavior. Now, this evidence hasn't been made public yet, but according to reports, it's gonna be the final nail in the coffin for Tiffany. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, "I'm impressed by Lori Lightfoot. She did a thorough investigation, found some major ish, and she's not even done with it fully yet. Glad the residents and trustees are finally getting some answers." Another person said, "This is beyond sick sickening. Inflation is at an all-time high, and the Henyard admin is destroying the lives of residents without a care in the world. Heads will roll. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about all this new evidence that Lori Lightfoot has found against Tiffany? And do y'all really think that Tiffany's gonna be put behind bars anytime soon? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.